Well, good evening, good afternoon, Kansas City. This is your host, Louis George Walker, coming to you live from KUAW Radio, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom Radio in Kansas City, Missouri, located in the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center at 4510 East Linwood Boulevard. And we're glad to join you today. The BFTAA and More show is brought to you by the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, in partnership with the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. Yes, we formed this station, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom. We call it KUAW, and you can pick us up 24 hours a day on the internet. Our audio side is broadcasting at all times, and it's you can go to KUAW.org and push on one of the play buttons there, or you can go to the online radio sites. We have my online radio tuner, the Get Me Radio, my radio tuner, online radio box. That's what I wanted to say on that, and the TuneIn app. So if you go to any of those sites, you can pick us up. Also, if you have a smart speaker, a Google speaker or Amazon, just tell it to play KUAW. And we'll come out. You'll hear us over that. And when we broadcast live, like we're doing right now, you can pick us up on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. Well, we're getting back on Twitter. We got to see what's going on with Twitter because they're doing something. I think they want us to pay the $8 a month or something. So we're going to have to look back and see if that's something we're going to jump into on the Twitterverse. But we are on Twitch and on Facebook. We're right now broadcasting on KUAW-radio. And we're also broadcasting on our Facebook Black Family Technology Awareness Association page. So you can pick us up live right now on both of those pages. You can also go to KUAW Radio on YouTube and pick us up. So there's a lot of ways you can listen to KUAW. We're bringing you that knowledge, that information that can help you. We're about STEM and getting kids and families involved in STEM, which stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, the STEM fields and the STEM learning track, so that we can create more people that are innovators in the world. They're not all having to be engineers, but engineers are great. They may be scientists, they may be technologists, anybody that wants to work and help make this world a better place and use technology to advance what we're doing in the community, what we're doing in this country is needed and necessary. So that's what we're about here. And the BFTAA and More show wants to talk a little bit about technology. We talk about some of the things going on in the community. For those of you that happen to be in the Kansas City area, Thursday of this week, we're actually going to be down at Ilis W. Davis Park, which is downtown between City Hall and the Federal Building. It's on 11th. 11th and Locust. If you come down to 11th and Locust, you'll see the park. We're going to have a table set up there. There's a group called Asset, which are some African-American employees that work for the city of Kansas City. They're having a technology day, or they're having a Juneteenth celebration, but we're going to be setting up a technology table to talk about technology and talk about getting kids involved and getting families and volunteers involved with the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. We can always use people that would like to help work with the community. We had one young lady that saw our signs and wanted to see about joining. After we had talked to her, a friend of mine had talked to her, and then I talked to her, but she actually is a licensed drone pilot. And she taught our first drone class just this last semester. The kids had a 12-week program of learning how to fly drones and the procedures toward getting certifications as drone pilots. And we had kids starting at 8 years old up to 12. And they learned how to fly the drones. They learned about the drones. They learned about some of the rules that you have to know to get ready for the testing of it. So we're trying to push some kids and push a learning environment where they'll learn how they can become drone pilots. We also have robotics teams here. We get kids involved in our robotics program. And we'd like for you to come down and help work with us and stuff. Some of you young people just got out of college, or if you've been around robotics or you want to get around robotics, why don't you get in touch with the Black Family Technology Awareness Association and help us help the young people in our neighborhood. We want to make a championship robotics team in Lego and in Vex. Those are two of the platforms that we use, and we'd like to have championship teams in there, and the kids get so much out of it. If you want to see change some kids' lives and see them just really have that enthusiasm for learning, get involved with our robotics program right here. You can contact us at BFTAA@sbcglobal.net, or you can go to our website at bftaa.org. If you go to that, you'll actually see our, we've got a sign-up sheet on that. If you want to be a volunteer, right in the center of the page, you can sign up to be a volunteer. You can also enroll your child for the next classes that'll be starting in August. So we want to do that. I also was talking with Alicia, who is our drone pilot, and she wants to do some free fly Fridays. So we're looking at starting free fly Fridays this summer, where the kids can come down. You can bring your kids down and learn and do about flying on a Friday evening here through the summer. So stay tuned. Check out our pages. Check out our website, and just email us or watch us here on the web every Monday, and we'll let you know when our first free fly Friday event's going to happen at the Black Family Technology Awareness Association in partnership with the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. We're located at 4510 East Linwood in Kansas City, Missouri. So those are some things coming up. Come down Thursday between 11 and 2 to Ilis W. Davis Park, which is at 11th and Locust, right across the street from the City Hall and from the police station and the federal courthouse, right there in that mall area. We're going to be down near 11th Street because it goes a couple of blocks, but we're going to be down by the fountain. So down by the fountain, we'll have a table set up. Stop by and tell us that you heard about this on KUAW radio. You wanted to come down and see what the Black family was doing and what other groups. There are going to be other vendors down there. It's a whole Juneteenth celebration that's going to be happening this Thursday. So come down and be a part of it. The mayor's coming and some of the city councilmen and probably some of the council candidates, because we've got an election coming up next week. So we probably have a lot of the different government officials down there. But please stop by and say hello at the Black Family Technology Awareness Association table. That'll be this Thursday. We'll be handing out some brochures, some flyers, and our business cards on how you can get involved and the programs that we have, how you can enroll your kids in the program. So check us out Thursday from 11 till 2. Well, we're going to have to leave there about 1 o'clock because I've got another show that I have to start up here at 2, but we'll be down there from 11 to 1 for sure. So with that said, we're going to get into today's show, and one of the things that we always do here is we let you know what's going on with the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, better known as NASA, which is planning on sending some people back to the moon. I believe that's next year, either 2024 or 2025, on the Artemis rocket. And we even have what will be one of the first women of color that has been chosen to be an astronaut on that flight. So it'll be one of the first women of color to go to the moon. It's going to be an exciting time, so we want to stay abreast and informed on what's going on at NASA. We're glad that you're here, so we'll let you see what they're doing this week at NASA, and let's see if we can bring that up and get it started for you. Here we go. We do this every week. This week at NASA.
The Artemis II moon mission crew visits D.C., another partner to land humans on the moon, and preparing to get to the heart of cosmic matter. A few of the stories to tell you about this week at NASA. The Artemis II astronauts were in the Washington, D.C. area May 17th through May 19th to discuss their upcoming moon mission. NASA's Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, and Christina Hammock-Cook, and the Canadian Space Agency's Jeremy Hansen met with members of Congress, officials at the Canadian Embassy, and participated in other activities. Artemis II will be the first mission to fly astronauts to the moon in more than 50 years. On May 19th, we selected Blue Origin to develop a sustainable human landing system for the Artemis 5 moon mission. The human landing system will transport astronauts to and from the lunar surface and gateway in lunar orbit as part of NASA's return to the moon for science, exploration, and inspiration. The agency already is working with SpaceX to develop landers for the Artemis 3 and Artemis 4 missions. The Focal Plane System, or FPS, the heart of our Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope, was recently delivered to Ball Aerospace in Colorado to be integrated into the telescope's primary instrument, a giant camera called the Wide Field Instrument. Roman, which is targeted for launch by May 2027, will help unravel the secrets of dark energy and dark matter, look for exoplanets, and carry out other infrared investigations of the cosmos. Researchers have used our James Webb Space Telescope to confirm water vapor around a comet in the main asteroid belt, a rare so-called main belt comet for the first time. This finding indicates water ice from the ancient solar system can be preserved in that region of space, which is closer to the Sun than where most comets are typically located. Now, researchers will try to figure out why, unlike other comets, this one had no detectable carbon dioxide. That's what's up this week at NASA. For more on these and other stories, follow us on the web at nasa.gov/twan.
All right. So exciting things. As you saw, they got those astronauts and they're talking. They're going back to the moon, and they went to the moon back when I was in high school. That was the last time they went. But I remember that I was a high school student when the man first touched down on the moon, and it's one giant step for man, or one small step for man, one giant step for mankind. All of that was back in my high school days. I think I was a junior when they actually went the first time, and then they went again as we graduated. They stopped going to the moon, I think, in 71. But, hey, we're going back to the moon, and they're talking about doing some long-duration stuff as they're trying to really learn and be able to stay in the outer space range for longer periods of time, because to go to Mars is going to take a long period of time unless we come up with some different type of propulsion system than we have right now. It's going to take months to get to Mars and back. So that's going to be a big trip. And that's something that we've got to be really ready for, to send humans that far. So sending them to the moon, which only takes, I think it's a 2 or 3 day trip to get to the moon. But anyway, that's going to be fun. I'll definitely be watching it. I won't get a chance to go, but I'll definitely be watching. But we want our young people to get involved in those type of endeavors and things that are going on, because that's important. You know, that's important. That's important to the future of mankind, but it's also important to our community, to our young people, and to all of people, that we are part of it, that our mind power is being used. We have a lot of smart young people, and they're growing, and we need to develop their abilities and their talents that God has given them so that they can do the great things that we need done for our future. So come on, support the Black Family Technology Awareness Association and the work that we're doing, getting science, technology, engineering, and math into the hands for hands-on technology learning, where they're not just reading or listening to somebody, but they're actually touching, doing things that are helping them learn. So that's what we're about here. You can also make donations on our Facebook page and on our web page. If you go there should be a donate button that you can donate through PayPal. So you can use your credit card or debit card to make a donation. So if you'd like to support the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, we would appreciate it. You can donate in any amount, $1, whatever PayPal will let you take. They may let you put in 50 cents. $5, $10, $20, $100, whatever it is that you can donate, we would appreciate. We think that we appreciate all the people. We have a lot of individuals that give to support this. No, they don't all give big, but we've had some individuals donate $200, $100, a lot of $50 donors that are just everyday people in the community that want to give back. So we'd like for you to become one of them. So go to our Facebook page or go to our webpage and make a donation to KUAW Radio or to the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. We'd appreciate it either way, and we thank you. Now we're going to go back to NASA to a program Space to Ground, and it's going to show a little bit what's going on in the space station that's orbiting in low Earth orbit right now, and that's growing. They're making it bigger. They're always adding stuff to it. So our space station is really turning into a big affair up in outer space. So it's really good to see that people have been able to stay up there. I don't know that anybody stayed a year at one time. They may have. I know they've stayed up there 6 months at a time. So let's go right now to Space to Ground.
Welcome to Space to Ground. I'm Shaniqua Vereen. It's been another busy week in orbit as astronauts aboard the International Space Station welcomed another cargo Dragon, loaded with some exciting new science and a power upgrade.
Engines full power and liftoff of TRS-28. Go Falcon, go Dragon.
On Monday, June 5th, an uncrewed SpaceX Dragon launched on the company's Falcon 9 rocket from Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida, carrying more than 7,000 pounds of research, hardware, and supplies to the International Space Station. Also among the science, hardware, and fresh food brought up to the space station on Dragon were a pair of new solar arrays.
I'm gonna plan to be apps.
On Friday, June 9th, NASA astronauts Stephen Bowen and Woody Hoberg exited the station's Quest airlock to install an upgraded IROSA on the 1A power channel on the starboard truss of the station. On Thursday, June 15th, the same pair of astronauts will install another IROSA on the 1B power channel on the starboard truss. The spacewalks will see the 5th and 6th IROSAs mounted to the existing solar arrays and will augment the power capability on the station to accommodate increased commercial and scientific research on the complex. Back inside the station, we look to answer the question, do you age differently in space? We'll go back to high school for the answer. An experiment designed by high school student Pristine Onwaha, the winner of the 2022 Genes in Space Student Research Competition, is now aboard the Orbiting Laboratory. This investigation was inspired by NASA's twin study of sibling astronauts Scott and Mark Kelly.
One twin went to space while the other stayed on the Earth, and so that study documented the changes between them. And one really grabbed my eye, and so that one dealt with the genetics of the twin in space, specifically his telomeres, which are the genetic sequences that cap the ends of our chromosomes. On Earth, telomeres shorten as we age, but for that twin in space, they appear to lengthen. That's something that's broader for astronauts as a whole. And so that kind of raised the question of whether astronauts age differently in space. But even more interesting was that we didn't know the cause of that process. And so with this gap in knowledge presented, I was keen to develop an experiment that might help us get closer to answering that question.
This investigation and several others are now on the space station, so head on over to ISS_research on Twitter to learn more. That's Space Around for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
See, and that is fantastic what our young people can come up with to do in space. Now, I know here in Kansas City, William Wells at Esteem Village, they've actually been a participant and have sent experiments up to space, up to that space station. So young people in the Kansas City area in Missouri and Kansas have had the opportunity through working with a group that's right here in the core inner city that is sending experiments up to the space station. And that's a fantastic thing, you know, that they're doing. So if you want to get your child involved in that, contact Esteem Village in Kansas City and check them out. While you're there, also go to STEM City USA. STEM City USA is a creation of the Career Communications Group, and it's been spreading to more cities. We have sites here in Kansas City. There's a site that just went online, I believe, in Chicago. There's other sites of STEM City where STEM curriculum, STEM, just STEM atmosphere for learning, for having fun, for lounging, and all of that. Music, all is right there in STEM City. And at the STEM City, Kansas City site, if you go to the multicultural room, you can actually find KUAW radio there. So right now we're broadcasting at STEM City, USA. You can pick up this broadcast and other audio broadcasts. Soon we're going to have the video side on there so that you'll be able to pick up the video of KUAW radio. Right now, though, we do have the audio side on there so you can hear us 24 hours a day at STEM City. Just go to KUAW there. And we're glad to be a part of that and the Career Communications Group, what they are doing. Also want to remind you again that coming up in February will be, during Black History Month, the 20th anniversary of the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. Yes, 20 years old. We've been around here for just a little while. I was a kid when we started this. But we've been around, and we're going to have some things online. We're going to have some things here in Kansas City live to celebrate 20 years of the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. So stay tuned. That is coming up, and we're just so glad for it. Now, I've got a little new piece I want to bring in for you. See some news. We've got a news outlet, so we can bring in you a little bit of news and some news that you can find out more about if you go to their site. So let's see if we can get the Urban Network News going on right now.
This is UNN, Urban Network News, national news and information for and about people of color. I'm Alexander Caden. A white Florida woman charged with shooting and killing her black neighbor told detectives that she called the victim's children by racist slurs in the months leading up to the slaying. During a recent court appearance, she was granted a $150,000 bond. A $45 million settlement has been reached in the civil police brutality case involving a black man now paralyzed from the chest down following an arrest by police officers in New Haven, Connecticut, nearly a year ago. U.S. black farmers are left frustrated as promises to help from the federal government still go unanswered. Under a bill passed by the state legislature, New York State could follow California and create a commission to consider reparations to address the lingering negative effects of slavery. Activist, theologian, and academic Cornel West has announced he's running for president as a third-party candidate and a member of the People's Party, a left-wing political party that dates back to the 1890s. The White House is planning to host its first ever Juneteenth concert in honor and recognition of the newest federal holiday. The Juneteenth concert will be held on the South Lawn of the White House on Tuesday, June 13th, and will feature an impressive lineup that draws from the very best in arts and entertainment. The Supreme Court has issued a 5-4 ruling in favor of black voters in a congressional redistricting case ordering the creation of a second district with a large black population in Alabama.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. So if you're a CPAP user, just make this free phone call right now to get started.
800-413-7523. That's 800-413-7523.
You've been listening to UNN Urban Network News. Visit our website at myunn.net.
All right. So that's a new bit that we're going to be bringing in here on Monday. You can listen to that daily if you listen to our Warren Ballantine show or the morning show that we have with B.J. Murphy. We start at 10 and go until 2. If you listen in on those, or go until 3. So from 10 to 3, you can pick up the everyday Urban Network News is on there. So you can pick up some news, you get some music, you get some information from those shows starting at 10 o'clock till 3 o'clock every day on KUAW on the audio side. So we're bringing that to you. We want to thank Mr. B.J. Murphy for making that possible, and we hope that you would support his show that's on our station and listen to B.J. Murphy. Call in to his show, support somebody that's doing something in the community, bringing news and information and having a little bit of fun at the same time. So check out BJ Murphy from noon until 3 o'clock right here at KUAW Radio in Kansas City, Missouri. Thank you very, very much. Now, we got some more news about STEM that's going on here. I hope I can get to some of this stuff that we've got. One of the things is I've been talking about our young people. We work with young people, and I wanted to show you another young person. This comes courtesy of Because of Them We Can. And that's some a website that you need to look at, and you need to see about subscribing to it. It'll come to you every day, and it gives you news, positive news that's going on in the African-American, not just African-American, but in the African diaspora around the world. You can pick that up. So let me see if I've got that. I think I do. I think that's right here. Yeah. So we'll see. There he is. That's the young man I wanted to show you. So this comes Because of Them We Can. That is the website. And it says, meet the 14-year-old who was hired as an animator on Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. That's the new Spider-Man animated feature that's out at your shows now. And this young man, 14 years old, let's see if I can make him a little bit bigger so you can really get a look at him. Just a second, got to get that square back up. Is that him? No, that's not him. Okay, we'll figure him out. Oops, that was him there. There we go. Nope, that's not him. I was going to try and make the picture bigger, but now I'm having a hard time zeroing in on it. See if that's him. There we go. That's a little bit bigger for you. You can check it out. So, yeah, so you can see here, this is a 14-year-old who was hired as an animator on Spider-Man Across the Universe. This is courtesy of the Because of Them We Can staff. And you can sign up and get their newsletter, or it's not really a newsletter, it's like an online magazine, and get that almost daily. I think they put out stuff daily, definitely every week, but you can look back through past stories that they've had out. But the young man's name is Preston Matanga. He first took interest in animation when his father introduced him to a new graphic software program called Blender. So see, that's the thing about fathers, about parents introducing our young people to things. You know, it doesn't say his age at that time. He's only 14 now. But just think, you know, here's his dad introducing him to some new graphic software, not just a game, not just the latest Fortnite or something like that, but some software that says you can make something. He said, and he showed me this 3D software called Blender, and I instantly got hooked on it. That's what this kid is saying, Preston is saying. He said, I watched a lot of YouTube videos to teach myself certain stuff. That's, you know, YouTube University is out there. You can learn how to do just about anything on YouTube. I use it for learning how fishing, how to do repairs around the house. I plugged up my ceiling and stopped a leak in the shower and all that. You can find them information on how to do it right there on YouTube. So he learned how to do work with this 3D software called Blender, watching stuff on YouTube, learning more. And it says when Across the Spider-Verse released its trailer, the Toronto teen saw it as a perfect opportunity to put his skill to use, recreating the trailer using Lego blocks and uploading it to Twitter. So he said, hey, they got this new movie out. He says, I'm going to get some Lego blocks and make my own little commercial about the movie, you know. So he did that. Preston's work caught the eyes of producers Chris Lord and Phil Miller, who were both amazed. Lord and Miller also directed the 2014 film, The Lego Movie. And they knew how hard it was to animate those shots. When the Spider-Verse team decided to create a scene set in the Lego universe, they knew they needed to connect with Preston. when they said we found out that it was a 14-year-old kid who made it, and we were like, wow, this looks incredibly sophisticated for a non-adult, non-professional to have made. It blew us all away, including some of the best animators in the world, Miller told reporters. So that's, these are the people directing, making the movie, and they saw it. So the Lego movie has inspired people making films with Lego bricks at home. That's what made us want to make the movie. Then the idea in Spider-Verse is that the hero can come from anywhere, and here comes this heroic young person who is inspired by the movie that was inspired by people like him, added Lord. So that's, watching some of those movies, seeing some of that animation, getting your kids involved in something where they can then work on it to create it themselves, and to do a little more. So he's into STEM big time and gets contacted by movie producers. Said the teen jumped at the opportunity, working remotely from his home in Toronto, spending every other week on video calls with Miller and the team to animate the Lego sequence for Across the Spider-Verse. His work got used in final cuts, and now the budding animator has a credit on the blockbuster film that's already raked in more than $235 million worldwide. Preston said he learned a lot from the experience and is even more excited to pursue a career in animation full-time, once he finishes high school, of course. So one thing I learned was definitely the feedback aspect, of like how much stuff actually gets changed from the beginning to the final product. I adored the first movie and was so hyped for the second one, so getting to work with the people who actually made this masterpiece was honestly like a dream, Preston said. So check out his original creation, the trailer. You can watch it, the one that this young man made. It's on a link on this page right here. So if you go to this page at Because of Them We Can, put that in your search engine, and you go down to that photo and click on it, and you can actually see that presentation. I should have brought that up for us to look at. I don't know if I can find it that quick right now, which would be a thing. Let's see if we can interact with this and maybe do something a little bit. It's not going to let me be that creative here. Yeah, there's no links for the video here. Doggone it. I may have to, I would have to go to the site to be able to upload it again so that you could see what this 14-year-old did. And let's see if we can, I don't know if we can find that right now. I don't know how I found it a minute ago, so hang with me just a second. Just a second, we'll see if we can get that up there, because you guys can see the work that this young man did on YouTube, and it's fantastic, that's for sure. Let's see, that was in an email I got from BOTWC. Let's see. But yeah, it's always interesting when you see stories and things about these young people and what they've learned or can do if they're just given the opportunity. If we open doors, if we provide access, by having high-speed internet at your home can be real beneficial in something like this, that kids can just take it and run with it. So let's see. I'll take him off of there and see if I can find that work that the young man did. Okay. You can hear it. No, you can't hear it. That's okay. We don't want you to hear it right now. Let's copy that video address and let's put that in something that you'll be able to see. Let's see if this will work now. Whoops. Let's see. We're working. We're making the soup right here as you watch. Let's see if we can do it. Oh man, it's not copying it for me. Let me make that there. It says it's a copy the And oh, this is on Twitter. I thought this was on YouTube. Oh, bummer. So they've got the link up here, but it actually is on Twitter, so I won't be able to bring it up, I don't think. So that's, I'll have to find it on YouTube. So maybe next week we get in here, I'll try and show you that. I'll bring it up on YouTube and we can see it. But this young man's 14 years old, making a name for himself already in animation. And it's a good Father's Day thing that his dad introduced him to the software. His dad may be a little bit of a techie himself, but introduced him to the software, and now the young man is taking off with it and getting paid, because you know they had to pay him for some of the work that he did, and he wants to be an animator and was able to work from home to do it. So see, that's where we want to get our kids involved in STEM. You know, and they may not be engineers, they may not be coders or programmers. They may like to make animated movies. That's fine. You know, they can make cartoons. It is a career. It is something that he'll have all his life. Even if he decides to do something else, he knows he can make movies or make animations and stuff. He's meeting people. Doors will be open, and the future is bright. So we want to get our kids involved in things like that. I tell a lot of people that we were down in Adrian, Missouri at a robotics competition one year, and one of our young ladies was talking to a lady, was asking her some questions. She gave her a card, and I asked her afterwards, who was that, that you were talking to and stuff, because I'm kind of watching this. And stuff. But the lady happened to be from NASA, and she was up in Adrian, Missouri, watching a robotics competition and telling this young lady that was with us how she could, be of help, or how she could, look toward getting a future. This was an 8th grader she was talking to, but she impressed the young lady with telling her things that, she had no inkling of. And here's somebody from NASA telling you about a career of working at a big organization like that. And you kids don't get to run into those people all the time if they're not involved in the things that get them noticed out there. Get them in robotics, get them to do coding, get them to do animations. Everything that you post on the web and stuff is not negative. It's not always bad. Some people say, well, I don't want them to do anything on the web. Some of that can get them noticed if they're doing some positive stuff, and if you're given the right guidance and observing, you don't just turn them loose on it. But, we've got to not be afraid of everything that comes along. If you watch the news, sometimes they'll make you think everything is bad, because that's what the news, that's what sells. They don't tell you the good stuff. That's why sometimes I go and look for some of the positive information. We have to be careful, and we have to be careful on the web, because all the news you get there isn't always good. I was talking with a fellow Christian at church Sunday about ChatGPT and its access, and he was telling me that, I saw a thing about that, and they talk about, like, if you put Jesus in there, you say something about Jesus, it always comes up with just negative stuff. But about Buddha and Allah and all of that, it talks about them and this mysticism and all that, but it doesn't talk good about Jesus. And I said, well, I'm not sure about that. I've been playing around with it. Let's see right now. So while we were sitting there talking, I put in there, give us the story, a Sunday school story or a story about Jesus Christ. And it came back with a real nice reading talking about Jesus' life, who he was, and some of the miracles he did, and his life, his death, his teachings. It wasn't negative on there. I mean, it was like another Sunday school lesson and stuff. So sometimes you can't just go with what people say, and they'll say something is bad, something is evil, and ChatGPT can be used for evil things, but is it evil itself? And that is the part that I don't think so. I don't know for sure. I didn't create it. I don't know how the algorithms work, but just from some of the stuff that I put in and got back, it's not bad. Now, you can put in some stuff and get some bad stuff back. That is true. That is the world. Because you can be good to some people and get treated bad by them, and they ain't got to be online. It can be some people that you're looking at face to face and stuff. So, yes, there are some bad things that can happen online. There's some bad things that can happen walking down the street, but there's a lot of good out there. There's a lot of good online. There's a lot of help. There's a lot of things that are saving people's lives online. There are a lot of churches that are bringing people to Christ online. That's where they are. That's where they're getting them. So, we don't want to just throw out the baby with the bathwater, as they say. Do we want to be careful? Yes. Do we want to stay vigilant? Yes. The Bible tells you that. Because the devil roams around like a lion, seeking those he will destroy. So you got to be vigilant. But if you have on your armor, you can work with that. But yeah, so we won't go deep down that road. But I want to talk about ChatGPT. Our time is up for today, but we're going to get into that. I've been playing around with it some and seeing what it does. ChatGPT, they have a 3.5, which is the older version. They got a 4.0 right now, but ChatGPT 4 costs you $20 a month. So I'm using ChatGPT 3.5 right now because I have not found a business excuse or case to say I want to spend $20 a month for ChatGPT. But I have found that there's some possibilities for things that it can help us out with. So as we look at this technology, yes, it's scary sometimes. The unknown can always be scary. But, it's coming. The AI is here. AI is not going away. We talk to our televisions. We talk to our cars. It's making some decisions for us. That's happening right now, whether you know it or not. Things are happening. When you're typing out a text message, it's guessing that you're trying to say this word, or it's putting another word up there and stuff. That's AI. That's artificial intelligence. It says, well, I think you're going to say this next. Well, it's just going off of the thing that it looks at and says most of the time when people use this word or these words in a sense, the next word is going to be this. And it's just making those assumptions. And that's the same way that things work. So AI is out there. It is a tool. Is it going to lead to robots that will destroy the earth? Is it going to turn into Skynet? And or the age of Ultron and all of that? Hey, we don't know. That's something that we have to be on the watch for. But a lot of times we watch a lot of the stories and the movies and all, and it's like all these robots will get out and do crazy things, and that's all we think about. It might go that way, but it might not. We don't know. But it's not to say that it's not coming, and it's not something that anybody's forcing upon us, that we do it willingly. As I was talking to the friend today, it's like, we talk about we don't want all this stuff, it's doing too much, but how many of us get up from our chair and go change the channel on the television? Unheard of. How many people even know how to turn the television on and off if they don't have the remote in their hand? We're using technology every day and we get used to it. You don't even know how to change a channel on your TV without a remote now. So we've gotten used to it. Is it the end of the world? No. It's all right. I sit down and push the button myself. But we have to learn to live and to watch and be, vigilant of this technology, but not to just say it's no good from the start. Well, thank you for listening. This is George Walker. This is the BFTAA and More Show. I am here every Monday from 5 to 5:45. And on the first and third Mondays, I'm followed by B. Michael with Shifting Paradigms. And you can check him out here. He's on his honeymoon right now, though. So I want to say hello to the Mr. and Mrs. Long right now and stuff. I hope you're enjoying your vacation, your honeymoon. Enjoy yourself and wish you much love, much love. We'll be back again next Monday right here, BFTAA and More, with your host, Louis George Walker. I see you. Have a great, great, great week.